Hello guys, today I'm going to explain the market equilibrium, the point where supply and demand curves meet. We'll use the headphone market as an example. It's the same example we read about in our readings. Understanding the equilibrium is important because it helps us see how prices and quantities are set in the real world. So what is market equilibrium? Market equilibrium happens when the amount of buyers are the amount of buyers that want to purchase something is exactly equal to the amount of sellers that want to sell something. So this balance happens at one specific price, and it's called a P star. And then it happens also at one specific quantity, and it's called a Q star. So on the graph, the equilibrium, we can find it by the intersection of these two curves that will give us our equilibrium price. So this is the recommended price that people should be selling their products to and that the consumer is comfortable spending. In our headphone market example, if you want to find the market equilibrium mathematically, this is how you would do it. The demand equation is QD, quantity demanded, equals 1800 minus 20p. The supply equation is quantity supply equals 50p minus 1000. When we set them equal to each other, we find that equilibrium price of $40 and an equilibrium quantity of 1000 units. Let's talk about excess supply and excess demand. What does this mean? Excess supply is when sellers produce more than what buyers want, so prices tend to fall. If you have a lot of these products, the prices will eventually fall. If the price is below $40, we have excess demand. Buyers want to buy it more because it's cheaper right now than what sellers are producing. They want more than what it's in the market. So prices tend to rise. These price changes continue until we get back to equilibrium. So until the equilibrium, like the perfect equilibrium, doesn't reach, buyers and producers will be experimenting on what prices it's great for business. Consumer and producers surplus. Consumer surplus is the extra benefit buyers get when they pay less than what they are willing to pay. Producer surplus is the extra benefit sellers get when they receive more than their minimum acceptable price. Together, these make up total surplus, which measures the overall benefit the market creates. Let's talk about market efficiency and deadweight loss. A market is efficient when total surplus is as big as it can get. This is called the Pareto efficiency. Deadweight loss happens when potential trades are lost, such as when the quantity is restricted. So for example, if we have only 900 units that were allowed to trade instead of 1000, we will have a deadweight loss of 350 in surplus. An example is the Eastern market in Washington, D.C., which creates surplus for both buyers and sellers. In the US, according to some statistics, about 23.5 million people live in food deserts. Food deserts are areas without easy access to fresh or affordable food. In those cases, government support for markets can improve welfare and access to goods. To wrap this up, guys, equilibrium balances price and quantity. It sets price and quantity in the market. Shocks to supply or demand causes shortages or surpluses, but prices adjust over time. They will eventually find their way up to the equilibrium mark. Welfare measures like consumer and producer surplus help us see if markets are efficient. If they're not in an equilibrium, they are not in an efficient state. And government policies can impact equilibrium and efficiency. And they can either help or harm market outcomes. Thank you for watching, guys.